the best worst podcast you've ever heard. And now, the Ronnie and Bo Show, brought to you by Prescott Realty.
All right, monkey boy, put your banana down and let's get back to work.
Oh, man.
Sometimes you just feel like a monkey.
I actually, most days, I do. I look like one. I don't know, smell like one. So
No, you do not.
Bo, this makes me happy to be here with you
It's
today.
fun to do these things. Ronnie and Bo Show, brought to you by Prescott Realty.
Yes, those are some great people over there that can meet all of your realty needs. Realty. We're trying to get to say it right.
Realty.
There's
not an
It's realty and realtor. Okay, and so you're going to want to talk to Lorinda Johnson or John Rocha or Kylie Elliott, which is their first-time homebuyer specialist, because that's how they operate. They operate in their area of specialty. So specialties in buying and selling. Give them a call for a no-commitment free consultation at 928-851-4500, and they'll help you out.
Prescott Realty in the area since 1991, so they know what they're talking about.
That's right.
We've got Ronnie and Bo hats and shirts for sale on our Facebook shop.
Yep. So visit that. And thanks again just for leaving ratings and reviews where you listen. That just helps us an awful lot. We know it is kind of a hassle, but thanks for those of you that have taken the time to do it because it helps other listeners find the podcast. So thank you so much for that.
Hey, I don't think we need to make a huge calendar of events issue here.
Yeah.
But I discovered that the Elks Theater that has those wonderful performances,
right?
You know, more play setting, more concert settings,
right?
They're doing a old time movie series on Wednesday nights. I think it's 7:00. You can go to the Elks and watch a movie. You know, like old time meaning,
right?
Not black and white, not Spencer Tracy. I'm talking about
recent classics.
Yeah, Sound of Music, Top Gun, and those kind of things.
Nice.
Just the stuff that we would like to go enjoy. And that's a cool, unique place to do it at.
It's such a great venue. And can we talk about this yet?
What? No.
There's a secret coming, but we will announce that at some point in the future.
Yeah, let's not do it. But Colette works very hard down there.
It's my grandfather in high school in the 1940s in Prescott worked at the Elks Theater when I think it was a movie theater.
Yeah, like an usher or something like that, huh?
Yep. And so it's such a cool place.
Bob is the sound guy there. Jennifer works the bar. They're just great folks there.
Yeah,
at
you
the
get in
Elks
there
Theater.
and we'll kind of host or MC some of the concert acts that come in, which is super cool.
Good to see people in the community at the Elks.
Yep, that's for sure. Do you want to play a game?
Sure. What game do you have in mind?
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with the game Two Truths and a Lie.
Never heard of it.
No.
Oh, I'm serious.
Are you lying?
No.
Is that the truth? Okay, so basically the gist of the game is...
so sorry.
You okay? Was that your elbow? Or
no, sorry about that.
Something?
I was trying so hard to be sneaky.
No, it's all good. So we're going to... give each other three statements.
Okay.
So you'll come up with three statements about yourself.
Okay.
Two of them will be true.
Oh.
One of them will be a lie, and I have to guess which one is the lie.
Okay, I get it.
So hence the name, Two Truths and a Lie. So I can give you a minute to think, or do you have...
Go ahead.
Do you need some?
No, you start. Can you start?
I had the game in mind, so I thought on my way over here.
Okay, so I'm going to have to guess. Go ahead.
I got three statements for you. You got to guess which one is the lie of these three. So first one, I spent the day with Patrick Swayze in a speedo.
You're a liar.
That's
now. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If
one.
I have to, I need to do more investigating.
Okay.
Before I can determine which one is the truth and which one's the lie.
Okay.
You said I spent the day with Patrick Swayze in a speedo. Yeah. Were you in a speedo? Was Patrick Swayze in a speedo? Because the way you phrased it, I don't know.
Okay.
And that could tip off the truth of the lie.
It probably could. Based on how I did mine.
Or it could confuse me because, you would probably, most people would want to meet Patrick Swayze or rub elbows with Patrick Swayze. You probably had an opportunity and decided to put your Speedo on for that meeting. You're trying to throw me off the scent.
I'm just gonna say, don't overthink it.
Oh,
I
thank you.
I didn't think that hard. About
I've heard that phrase all my life.
I did not think that hard. So I spent the day with Patrick Swayze in a Speedo. That's the first one.
Were you at Mammoth Mountain snow skiing? I'm just trying to figure out why you were in a Speedo. Go ahead.
You're really trying
Were
to
you in a
stump
hot
me.
tub?
Did you work for the CIA?
You know what? You just
people?
reminded me. You just reminded me. Seriously, I am reaching for a pen and I am writing this down. This whole conversation reminded me of a fact.
Okay.
It could be a truth,
Ooh.
or it could be a lie. But I'm going to write it down.
You're going to jot it down.
So,
the way you're treating me right now, I really feel like you're De Niro in Meet the Parents. You've hooked me up to the lie detector, and you're probing here. I think you've got some training as some FBI or CIA.
Well, I don't. I didn't know this game, so I'm going to really
Taliban. This is just.
I need to know. I mean, and we haven't even got to your two other facts.
Okay,
go ahead.
All right. I spent the day with Patrick Swayze in a Speedo. Number one. Number two.
You did.
I rode shotgun.
See, right there. You said, we're gonna end up spending the whole 20 minutes on this alone. So you just said, I came up with a couple of these things. I came up with this game. Want to play? I came up with it. That's what you said. And then you say, number two. You're not thinking about it on the spot right now. You're trying to fool me.
I am.
Okay,
it's
go ahead.
Tool.
Number two.
I actually use that tool in preaching.
Yeah?
To make it appear as if I'm coming up with something off the cuff.
Okay.
When I've actually thought through it.
They call that a rehearsed ad lib.
Yeah, you don't know. I could be lying about that, or I could be telling the truth. But,
I'm so confused right now.
I rode shotgun with Kiefer Sutherland.
In a Speedo. On the way to, his name's house?
No. Okay.
And had the time of your life doing some dirty dancing. Okay, go ahead.
And then number three, I spent the evening singing out loud with David Hasselhoff.
All three of those are lies. All three of those are lies. Or for the sake of you, your wife, and your family, and your future, all three should be lies.
They should be.
And I got to tell you, the one that you should, that's okay to get away with is shotgun with Keith Sutherland. Because if you did the other two, you're weird, and I'm going to not do podcasts with you anymore.
All right, two truths and a lie.
Wait a minute. I better not make that statement because I don't know with you.
Yeah, you've got three options. Which of those? The irony is yes.
That is so wrong. That is so wrong. All of those are wrong. None of those should be true.
Oh man,
one is true.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was the last one?
I spent the evening singing out loud with David Hasselhoff.
Oh, okay. I got it. A wave came across me. Okay. Oh, I have to pick the lie?
Yeah.
Because that one's true. David Hasselhoff singing out loud is true. So now I got to determine the other two, right? Which one is the lie between Speedos and... Okay, so the lie, I'm hoping, for the comedy.
All right.
I'm hoping the lie is you rode shotgun with Keith Sutherland. So that is my final answer. You rode shotgun with Sutherland.
And you are correct.
Really?
You got it.
Which is great because that's fantastic, but it's horrible for you because now you have to explain the Speedo and Patrick Swayze.
Oh, man. Okay, so I worked through college. I lived in Lake Arrowhead, California, which is a private lake and resort community in Southern California.
It's the largest lake in the world.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No. And I worked lake patrol. And so it was mostly safety and just kind of driving a cool boat around and so Patrick Swayze has a place up there. He had a place in Arrowhead. He's since passed. And one day I came out. I was the first one on early morning shift, and Swayze was known for going out on his ski boat in a Speedo.
Okay.
He had nothing to worry about. So I can clarify right now, I was not in a Speedo.
Oh, that makes half of that truth a lot better. Yes.
Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. And then so he would go lay out, float in the middle of the lake on his back on the top of his ski boat in a Speedo. And so it was kind of humorous. And this was when he had that big lion mane hair,
down to the shoulders.
And one day I came out and some teenagers had done a prank and had cut a whole bunch of boats loose from their dock and just shoved them out into the middle of the lake.
Okay.
And so I was the only one on my shift, and I go out and hear all these boats are floating out in the middle of the lake with nobody in them. And so I'm thinking, okay, this isn't good. Now I have to start looking up which boats belong in which dock, and we had a book that went with it. But I recognized Swayze's boat.
One of these boats is not like the other.
Exactly. I recognized Swayze's boat because I'd seen him, and I remembered the speedo and the boat and all that. So I hooked his boat up to the back of mine first and towed it in to his dock. And this is like 6 a.m. And he comes walking down already in a speedo and nothing but a speedo. Like, God help me. God is my witness. This is, and he says, "Can I help you out?" And because he's looking out at this lake filled with boats that nobody's in. And even if I didn't need help, and even though he's in a speedo, it's Patrick Swayze. You're gonna say yes,
because you want to hang out with Patrick Swayze.
Exactly. And he had been a very nice guy. Just once or twice you'd bump into him, and so I said, sure. And so he jumped in the boat, and for the next 4 hours, it took us to collect all the boats, and he traded stories, and yeah, my eyes were never the same.
Did he
after that.
Did he grab you by your armpits and power lift you over him?
I wish.
Okay.
I wish. So I did.
And what were the other ones you were just
saying? And the Hasselhoff one, you seemed like you picked up on that. But
well, you said I sang out loud. That could be at a concert. That could be in a car. That could be,
Yeah, correct.
So now that's just as embarrassing because you went to a David Hasselhoff concert?
No, I went to, well, it's not any better. I went to a Hanson concert.
Dude, you're just wrong. You're making me very uncomfortable.
At the Hollywood Bowl.
Hanson and Hasselhoff. You want to be first in line for those tickets.
Exactly.
Good judgment. Good judgment.
In the entire Hollywood Bowl, which seats how many people? A lot of people.
Yeah.
There were the Hanson brothers. There's three. There's three brothers, and there were 5 males in the entire Hollywood Bowl. 3 of them were on stage, then me, and then one box seat over was David Hasselhoff, which if you were not...
I thought he was singing. He was in the crowd with you.
He had his daughters there, I think, and if you weren't creeped out by him before, then you probably... And he was into it, man. He was into it, so... I enjoyed that experience. Okay, it's your turn. Do you have some?
When you were talking about the Speedo, it reminded me of one. Okay. But I already have 3 written down. So could it be 3 truths and a lie, or should I just keep it 2 truths and a lie and tell you the one that you inspired me?
We can do whatever we want.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna change the format. Okay. So when you were talking about Patrick Swayze, when I was in college, Greg Louganis.
Oh yeah,
was a very popular Olympic diver.
Smacked his head on the.
That's right.
Yeah.
On the high dive.
Yeah.
On the concrete platform.
Yeah.
So
that still gives me shivers.
When I was in college, I don't know if it was a weekday or a weekend.
Right.
I went down to the pool.
Yeah.
To enjoy myself. It was a nice day.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a swimmer. I wasn't a water polo player. I was just there to enjoy myself on a hot day. And I was in the jacuzzi.
Oh.
And there were a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
There were teams practicing, there were all sorts of things going on. But it was also open to the students.
Wow.
And so I'm in the jacuzzi, and all of a sudden this guy comes running over to get in the jacuzzi. He's dripping wet out of the pool, and he wants to warm up, and he's dripping all the way across the concrete patio.
Yeah.
And he hops in the jacuzzi with me, and he turns and he says, "Hey, how you doing?" And I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And it was Greg Louganis. I sat in a hot tub with Greg Louganis.
Wow.
And I don't know if you say that in a proud way or in an embarrassed way. I don't know. I'm trying to stay in the middle of the road on that.
All right, I'm trying to believe.
Okay. Now here are my 2 truths and a lie.
So that one was actually true.
That was true. So I could have had 3 truths.
You could have. Goodness.
Yeah. And you reminded me because you said Speedo with.
So is this when you looked like Karch Karai of the Olympic volleyball team?
Yes. Yep.
So it could have. Everybody else just thought there's 2 Olympians in the jacuzzi.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I talked to him a little bit,
and who knew Karch Karai and Greg Louganis had a thing for each other?
No, now stop that. That's how rumors get spread. No, he actually grew up in San Diego. He was adopted. No, Greg Louganis. He was adopted.
Oh,
and he grew up in I think East County, San Diego, and this was in L.A. and I was from San Diego, and so we talked about San Diego.
Yeah,
and we talked about
cool.
local
he
streets.
Seems like
stuff.
He'd be a really cool.
He
guy.
was a very nice guy, just a wonderful guy. Okay, my two truths and a lie.
All right.
In no particular order.
Okay, all right.
I met President Nixon.
Wow. Okay.
My other comment.
I met President Nixon. Okay.
I attended Wolfman Jack's funeral.
Ooh.
And I think you're going to know these because I think I've told you these stories before.
Yeah, I don't.
And then my third fact. I swam naked in the reflecting pool at the nation's capital.
Oh man!
Now you're don't play. Don't play. Don't go. Oh golly gosh, gee, I don't know, Bo.
Yes.
You know exactly which one, right? Right at this point, right? You're 99% confident.
I'm 99% sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the problem when you play with your friends. They already know the story, so you got to come up with something different.
Well, and even that's it. Like even just the nature of the podcast is us telling all these stories about ourselves. So.
And I should have known the Patrick Swayze one, but I didn't know that headline. But when you started saying I was in, then I remembered that story.
Right.
When you were telling the story about
Hanson and all that stuff.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember those, but I didn't when it was a headline.
Yeah.
So, do you know what the reflecting pool is at the nation's capital? I don't want to put you on the spot. Can I explain it to you?
The Washington Monument deal?
It's the little rectangle piece of water between the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Monument.
Yes,
and that's where a lot of marches end up. That's where what's his name, civil rights speech was.
It's kind of iconic. I mean, of our nation.
And they call it the reflecting pool because if you're standing at the Lincoln, you can see the reflection of the Washington Monument in the water.
That's cool.
And then if you're standing on the other side, you can see the reflection of the Lincoln.
That's neat.
But that's it. So I swam naked in the reflecting pool at nation's capital, attended Wolfman Jack's funeral, or met President Nixon. How do you want to dissect that, buddy?
Okay, so I have seen the Wolfman Jack
funeral
bulletin
program
from the funeral program framed in your bathroom at your home. Yep. And so I'm assuming that you got that when you went to the funeral.
I went to Wolfman Jack's funeral.
Okay, so that's true. I seem to recall a rather humorous story of wanting to impress your wife, maybe, or wife-to-be, or was it just somebody else you were wanting to impress?
You're circling in on this.
At the reflecting pool.
Yeah.
And why don't we play a prank on our girlfriends or something? Yep.
Yeah.
And so I wish it were not the truth, but it is the truth.
Yeah, that's one of those,
That you, and so that leaves the first one, you met President Nixon as the lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did not meet him.
So when I was 10 or 11, we lived 2 doors down from a Secret Service agent.
Ooh.
The Wallaces.
Oh, cool.
And I was friends with their kid.
Yeah.
And he was a Secret Service agent.
Yes.
During the end of the Ford. No, I'm sorry. Ford came after. During the end of the Nixon, or all of Nixon, and the beginning. That was his schedule. That was his time period.
And was he on the president?
Yes.
Not just some other detail.
No, absolutely.
Okay, wow.
And he was there when they when Squeaky Fromm tried to shoot Ford in San Francisco. He was at that.
Ooh,
that was him. And so anyway, so he was on. You go a certain amount of years, and then they move you out. And that kind of stuff. But he was there, and so we were living in Texas at the time, and he was a Secret Service agent, and I remember him. He was an adult, and he said, and I shouldn't say this about him, but he said Nixon was. I mean, he hung the moon. I mean, he made my existence, my life worth living to be Nixon.
Wow.
And then I remember him saying, I was so hurt. And I was just so torn inside. I gave that man everything I could give, and he was just such a crook. But I don't want to get political on you.
No,
but it
yeah.
affected him, the
Wow.
Secret Service agent.
Yeah.
And then, so anyways, but he was still, so he had relationships with
Yeah.
Nixon. I mean,
Yeah.
he knew Nixon. He knew his
Yeah.
wife. He was in rooms. I mean, he did everything
Right,
with him.
right.
And so many years later,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, maybe 10, 15, 20 years later, in the 80s, they came out to visit us in California.
Yeah.
Their family and our family were getting together for a summer vacation, and they said, "Let's go up to San Juan Capistrano,
Yeah.
and we're gonna go in and go see his White House on the
Oh,
west,
wow.
you know, that Nixon's house on San
Yeah.
Juan Capistrano." And so we went on the grounds,
Oh, cool.
and we took a personal tour
Yeah.
of the Nixon
Yeah.
home in
Yeah.
California,
Yeah.
but never met him.
Never got to meet him.
But took pictures out in front of his house
Oh,
and
man.
the guard booth.
I
and all
think
this
there's,
stuff.
regardless of your opinion on any president, I think just being able to meet a president would be pretty amazing. You know?
It'd be pretty powerful. wouldn't it?
I sat near Ford, actually at a church service years and years and years ago.
Oh, that's right.
And he was at this church that my grandparents went to in Palm Springs, and so it was near him, but didn't get to meet him. And but that's the closest I've ever been to a president.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Vice president I got to meet, but
Biden.
but no others. But
Well, that's pretty amazing too.
Yeah.
Meeting the vice president.
yeah, so yeah, I don't know. Those are good.
So we've got a first coming up in a couple of days or a couple of episodes, however you want to phrase it. We're going to get our first in-studio
Yes.
guest, a first interview.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So-
that is going to be good, and we should play this with her.
You want to?
Yeah,
2 truths and a lie?
yeah. Let's play that with her.
But what if she comes in and says, "I spent an afternoon in a speedo with what's his name, Patrick Swayze"?
Well, then we'll
Okay,
know she's lying.
all right.
Or maybe not. I don't know.
So we're going to have our very first podcast interviewee. It's Lisa.
I'm sure there were
La
a
Chapelle
lot of
Dandos.
women that spent time with Patrick Swayze in a Speedo.
Yeah,
So
and vice versa.
yes, and so yeah,
And out
I
of a
didn't mean
Speedo.
didn't mean to talk over that. Yeah, exactly.
Lisa, live and local of Magic 99.1
man.
is
Can't
going to be
wait
our
to
guest.
have Lisa
She's
right
so much
here
fun.
with
I worked
us.
with her for many years.
You did,
and
you did.
She's fun on the air and even off the air.
Yeah, she's fantastic. So I can't wait to spend some time with Lisa.
So keep checking into the podcast and hear that interview with Lisa Dandos. Lisa, live and local, as she calls herself.
That is true.
And remember, we got Ronnie and Bo Facebook shop, and you can buy hats and T-shirts there. We'll mail them to you. We accept all major credit cards.
Yep.
We can get it for you if you want one. Thanks for listening to us on iTunes and all those other places.
Right, and you can check us out at ronnieandboshow.com.
That's our website.
That's our website,
RonnieandBoShow.com.
and you can interact with us. You can listen to the podcast. You can follow our Twitter on there. You can subscribe to an email news blast that will, be shooting out about the show. We got some exciting stuff coming up this fall, so we're really excited to stay in touch with all of you.
Thanks to Prescott Realty for sponsoring the Ronnie and Bo Show. They had the courage
They did.
to be the first.
Yep.
And I think they're very happy with some of the results they're getting.
That's for sure.
And we're very happy that they're partnering with Ronnie and Bo.
Yep, that we are proud to have them as our sponsor, and they've been helping folks in the greater Prescott area since 1991. They've got 2 offices to serve you, one in downtown Prescott and another in Williamson Valley. You can call them today at 928-851-4500.
They're really going to know the real estate market because
Yep.
they've been in town for a very long time, and they're very good. 928-851-4500. Thank you very much, Prescott Realty.
Yep, it's time to put on your Speedo, folks.
Thanks for listening to the Ronnie and Bo Show, available on your favorite podcast provider. Please connect with the Ronnie and Bo Show on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and RonnieandBoShow.com. Send comments to RonnieandBoShow@gmail.com. This is your announcer speaking. I'm Shotgun Tom Kelly.